Welcome to Made to Make. Here we talk about creativity, the challenges that come with it, and why we keep showing up anyway. Because hey, we are all made to make. Welcome to the We Are Made to Make podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Grissom. Today's guest is Denise Hall. She's an artist whose journey from sketching as a child to teaching others proves that creativity can grow in any season of life. Welcome, Denise.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You know, I was thinking about you started creating and drawing as a child. So can you tell me your first memories of that?
Well, my family had a family Bible. So I would try to draw whatever pictures were in there. It was Jesus on the cross, and Mary was, reaching out to him. So I was trying to draw that. I was like, okay. I was 5 years old, and I showed my parents. It was like, oh, good job. Although it was like, what's this? But there was a few other things I would try to draw other than the Bible. But I think I really figured out that I really had a liking to art when I was in middle school, and we would do projects where it would require drawing or whatever. Like me, I decided to draw it versus cutting out paper and gluing it. So that's when I realized, oh, I really like doing this. Yeah.
I know when I was little, I drew on everything I could think of. I drew inside my books, which I got in trouble for, and the walls. Did you kind of overflow into other places?
I did draw on books. I didn't do the walls. I attempted to, and then I kind of got caught, and she was like, no. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know I couldn't do that, trying to be. But yeah, I would, go in books and stuff and draw in them or color over them or something. But I just do remember like this, when I first started coloring, the smell of crayons and how I like the paint that we use. And I just, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. But when I got in high school, I didn't take art. So I was kind of a bummer, but.
So was there a reason why you didn't take art, or you just got busy with other things?
No, well, so back then, well, I make it seem like I'm so old, but my parents, it was more like you need to learn the skills of, typing and all this other stuff, and you don't need to take art. But I still kind of drew at home, but I just pretty much got away from it completely in high school. So I just did other stuff.
Yeah. Well, I hear you. I didn't take any art in college at all. I was
Me either.
Trying to be practical.
Yeah, I didn't either. I just like in college I think I was more like in my mind I was thinking, well, you have to like concentrate on a certain project. You can't always do, what you want to do. I think that's what I was thinking. So I just decided not to do that in college. So, yeah.
But then, when you got pregnant, it seems like it opened doors for everything. So can you talk about that and how your creativity shifted during that time?
Yeah. So I got pregnant. I had just graduated respiratory school. So I went to community college for respiratory therapy. So got pregnant, long story short, ended up on bed rest. So I couldn't really do anything for like 2 weeks. So I got bored. I was like, I can't just sit here. Because I'm not supposed to be really doing anything, which that didn't really happen. You can't just sit around and do nothing for 2 weeks, No, and especially if nobody's home, the way you're on hand and foot, not that way, So I said, well, let me, you know what? I think I'm going to start drawing. So I started drawing because I had some stuff from middle school. My mom she kept some things I did in middle school. So, when I got married, I kind of packed all that up and took it with me. And I thought, you know what, I want to start drawing. So, I got some colored pencils and started out with floral stuff. And that was the main thing, the floral. Um, then I started working with pastels. So I started with oil pastels, and then I did chalk. I was like, boy, this is messy. But I love the colors. This is like, you got to do a lot of cleaning with this chalk.
That's true.
I was like, the colors are beautiful. It's just a lot going on. So,
yeah.
So I went from there, and then I had my son. Went to work. I was off for a little bit, but I didn't really do much because being with a newborn, I just wasn't thinking about that at the time too much. But when I went back to work, I started kind of selling my drawings a little bit, like floral pencil drawings. I sold a few, so I went to Hobby Lobby just to frame them. So when I was waiting to get them framed, I heard all these ladies laughing in this room. This is when they taught art at Hobby Lobby, because they don't do that anymore. For a while, I was like, I would really love to learn how to paint. So 3 months later, went to Hobby Lobby to get some things framed. Heard these ladies laughing in this class. I was like, what is going on? I went over there, and all these ladies were just painting with oil paint. I was like, what is this? and the instructor was like, hi, how are you? This is, oil painting classes. And anyway, I learned more about it, started taking classes there. It was just like the 10 of us. It was like 2 to 3 times a week, whenever I had time.
Wow.
Yeah, so I remember she said, you have to, whatever you learn here, you have to make sure you do it at home. There's so many students that come here and paint, go home and do nothing, come back, and they're like, how do you do this again? Let's do, She says, I feel like that, you really want to do this, and you seem really, really good. So if you could just do what I taught you at home, paint at home also, you could go a long ways. So I did that. And ever since then, so I took the class for almost about 6 months, twice a week. Then I just didn't have time to take it anymore because I was working nights at the time. So it was full time. So it was kind of hard, after a while, finding time to go to the class. So I just did what I could at home and just kind of learned some things, and, whether it's through video or whether self-taught. But I did remember a lot of things that she taught me. So I just took it home and just applied it to the canvases, and yeah. So that's all that.
Well, it sounds like, from what you were saying earlier, not on the podcast, but just in what I wrote about you, that you've had a lot of family support. So how did that help? You stepped away from classes. I mean, you're working full time and taking classes at night. That's a lot, and raising a family. So, it's stepping away. You were able to continue to paint. And how did that support help you? It sounds like you've had a lot of encouragement.
Yeah. So my husband was really encouraging me to just make sure you find time to do it, because I would always say, I don't have time. And he was like, if you really want to do it, you'll find time to do it. I was like, okay. So
I had a guitar teacher tell me the same thing. He said, I said, yeah, I'm practicing a little here and there. He says, we always make time for the things we want to do. There's time. You just got to make it.
Yeah.
So you've done a lot of realistic work, and then you moved into abstracts. So what got you turned on to start exploring abstracts?
Oh, I don't know. I thought, well, let me see what I can do a little bit different. Cause I was stuck on florals and stuck on, so I tried to like kind of, you know, do other things like abstract, and that was kind of out of my range there because I never done it. And I thought, well, I guess it can't be too hard, too hard to like just put something together. But um, when I started doing that, it wasn't as, I guess in my mind I was thinking I'll just throw some colors and do some design.
But no,
No,
it is not easy.
I was like, this don't look. I don't like
Yeah.
what I did, or let me see if I can. So, but yeah, I started playing with abstracts, and for a while I was doing oils, and I started just doing acrylics. But since then, I haven't went back to oils. So, I'm say the last time I painted an oil painting was over, I don't know, 15 years ago. I think it's just the convenience of not having to use a lot of chemical, but at the same time, I really loved painting with oil. So at some point, I will get back to it. But yeah, I just I just decided to kind of play around with abstract. What I really like doing is the floral seascape in landscape.
And some cityscapes that are really cool.
Thank you.
And now for a wee break. Is Made to Make podcast brightening your day like finding unexpected money in your coat pocket? Then help keep the episodes coming. Head on over to wearemadetoMake.com. There you can share the show, contribute financially, or simply help spread the word. Every bit of support keeps these conversations going and your inspiration flowing. That's wearemadetoMake.com. Now let's get back to the show. And now we're back.
Oh,
So, so I was thinking about one of the things that has really impressed me about your journey is that, a lot of life has happened and you just keep persevering and you just keep going. And now you're teaching. So how did that all get started?
well, I thought, I would love to teach some classes. So I started out at a recreation center near where I live, and I started out with kids, and that was fun. So I kind of teared off from that, and then I started doing. Long story short, 2020 when COVID came along, I had to improvise. So I started teaching painting online. So I would start doing paint parties online. And that's what got me started in selling paint kits and stuff like that. So, but I taught kids for about 3 years at a recreation center. I went ahead and moved to doing online paint parties during COVID. And then when we started kind of getting out of being isolated, I would reach out to different restaurants, managers that own the restaurants or just ran the restaurant. And I would kind of ask him, hey, have you thought about having someone doing paint parties, blah, blah, blah. So they were either interested or not interested. So I started doing that. I would also, because I travel, because I don't have a studio. So, like if I have someone that wants a paint party at their home or anywhere at a restaurant, they can pick wherever they want to go. I would travel to there. I would bring all my stuff. I would bring like tablecloths, paints, aprons, brushes. I'll supply all the things they need to enjoy, paint party with the friends, families. Yeah.
Do you get a lot of people that this is the first time they've painted, or they've been thinking about it for a long time and they're just now getting started, or?
All of it. So
Yeah.
a lot of times, um, the ones that's never painted are like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna paint like, it's gonna look like crab, and I can't even draw a stick. That's all I can do. I said, I mean, you'd be surprised what you can do if someone is, teaching you and step by
Yes.
step, because it's a step by step, paint party. So, and it turns out to be fine. Now, and some of them be like, and I'm like, you did fine. So I would tell everyone, to say a certain thing like, hey, before we get started, I want everybody to repeat after me. I will not judge myself or others. I will enjoy myself while we are painting and have a great time. And we just go on and everybody paints, and 9 times out of 10, all of them look great. And then you have that, you might have one where they just gave up and said, I'm done. And I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
You can still have fun. I think the objective is to have fun.
Yeah.
Because I tell them, before we get started, also, the objective is to have fun, enjoy yourselves, and just have a great time painting. No pressure. This is not, hey, no, you didn't do it this way. We're not doing that. We're basically, everybody's just getting together because they want to have fun, chit chat, and paint. And then they, drink whatever beverage they want to drink, whether it's wine, water, or juice, or whatever they're drinking. But they're there just to have fun. Mm-hmm.
That's a great way for people to get started.
Yeah.
And even for people that have been painting a while, just to go have fun. I love painting with other painters. It's fun.
Yeah.
So, when you get people that are unsure about their artistic abilities, or they could show up and then still be unsure. What do you say to people to help them get over that hump? What would you say to yourself, your younger self, if you were unsure about being able to create?
You never know unless you try. It's like,
good.
I mean, you have help there, even if you're at home by yourself. There's videos, all kinds of videos that you can learn from. You just never know. Just go pick up a brush, get some paint, and do something. And it doesn't have to be like perfect. Everybody, I think a lot of people who hasn't painted before, but they want to, that fear is, oh, it won't look good or whatever. But beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Yeah. Everybody has different styles of painting. Your paintings. And also, when I do the paint parties, that's another thing. I tell them, hey, because I usually have a sample for them to look at. So I paint the design that we're going to paint. So before I have the party, so they can have something to reference to. And I always tell them, hey, it's not going to look like this. Everybody's painting, your painting's not going to look the same as mine. It's not going to look the same as the person sitting next to you. It's going to look different, but it will still look good, still look beautiful. Just paint and enjoy yourself. You have your own style. So don't compare yourself with other people. And that's another thing with me, I think with a lot of artists, including myself, every now, sometimes you tend to just like kind of compare, like, wow, and not realizing, your gift is unique also.
Yes.
You gotta, and it's like, you gotta remember that your gift is unique and you don't need to compare yourself. Everybody has, people have their taste in art. Like we have art collectors that have all kinds of taste in art. You can't go by what this person is painting. Paint what you love to paint, and just go from there. You're unique, you're yourself. You don't need to have the same exact stuff, same exact painting. Now, I can see if you're trying to, paint a flower, but you're going by what this person's painting just as a guide. That's all it is a guide. So I tell them, as far as, when I teach paint parties, it's just a guide. It's, it doesn't need to, and you can also use different colors. You don't have to use the same color I use. Pick a different color if you want to have a different color. But most of the time they're like, I want to do it like that. Because, they're like, I don't know what I would pick,
Yeah.
So, yeah. But there's some that would paint with us, and they're really good. I said, do you paint at home? You can tell. You can kind of tell which one's an artist. I said,
I used to paint with a group of people. We'd have a live model, and we're all painting the same model. And every one of us had a completely different painting. And the model, during the break, would come around and look at everybody's painting, and she'd look at mine and be horrified, or she'd look at somebody else and love what, And I said, you know what? And she's like, they're all different. I said, you know what? And because I said, it's not about you, honey. It's about what we're creating. I said, we're gonna make you into whatever we're gonna make you. You are just like you said. You are just a guide, and we're just doing that. And that, I don't think she liked that, but it's true.
It is.
And I like what you said about not judging. Especially when I first started out, I compare myself. Oh, I'm not as good as this person or whatever. So now I just did I do better than yesterday to myself? I'm comparing against what I did, and now with the length of time I've been painting, it's more about adjusting my internal attitude rather than the skill. Mm-hmm. What am I saying to myself? Am I beating myself up? Stop that.
You know what? As far as beating yourself up, when you get done with the painting, you're like, oh, well, I need to, and you start fixing this, fixing that. And it's like, it doesn't need to be fixed anymore. Leave it alone. You're finished.
Yes. Yes. You are so right. Step away from the canvas.
I know. You mess it up,
So, looking back at your entire journey, what's the biggest lesson you've learned?
Don't compare yourself to other artists. Yeah. Other art. So I think that keeps you from being more creative, because you're too busy trying to, compare your art because you think it's better, type of thing. Yeah. Paint when you can. Always learn. You never stop learning. You always learn new stuff. I'm still learning new stuff.
Me too.
Don't judge don't judge. Just because just because another artist may have their own, and you're like, ooh, what's going on with that? But it's sold for $10,000,
Yeah. There's a lid for every pot, right?
It is. Just do it. Just pick up the brush and go. Make time to do it. Don't make it. It's so easy to make excuses to not. I haven't painted in 3 months, and my husband be like, well, whose fault is that? And I'm just like, okay. He says, well, you had time. So as far as having time to paint, I went to day shift recently here, in September of last year. So I was on night shift for 23 years. And they're like, what made you do it, Denise? I was like, What made you go to day shift all of a sudden? But it was the time, trying to find the time, especially when they were little, to paint, working full time, working nights. But I would just do that, like the kids. I would put the kid when the kids go to bed, because I would try to do it when they're still awake, and they would just keep, like, "Hey, mom," because they need something or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was started kind of waiting until they went to bed and did it. I would be up till 2 in the morning. Like I would start
Wow.
painting at 10 or 11. I would have a cup of coffee or whatever, and I'll just go paint. It's like this is the only time I have time to do it right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just do it then. I would do it. I don't have a studio, so I just make room in my kitchen, like clean off the table, and then my stuff would just take over. So every time we're getting ready to eat something, I'm like, well, I gotta clear this off first. I'll just take over the whole kitchen table. But yeah, I'll just do it there, and that's just how I found time to do it. Um, and then now I just do it whenever. But yeah, so I've been concentrating more on creating art here lately in the past couple of months versus paint parties, because when I was doing paint parties, I wouldn't have time to paint like I wanted to. So right now I'm just constant. I'm still doing the paint parties. I'm doing more of creating more paintings right now.
Well, you're still working full time, right? Are you
Yes.
still working? That's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah.
prep going into. Oh my goodness! I mean, there's a lot of prep going into the paint parties. It's not just show up with everything. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes before you ever get to that point. So to be doing that, that's like another job on top of your job. So I can see where you'd want to kind of scale back and do a little bit of, creating just for you. So yeah, my hat's
Yeah.
off to you. So, okay,
Thank
people
you.
don't think you have enough time. Check out Denise. She's getting it done.
Getting it done. I want to get it
Yeah.
done.
So, what do you have anything? I know you've been involved in the Dallas Fort Worth art scene, working with other artists, being involved in the community. How has that shaped what you're doing as well?
It just gives you more encouragement to want to do more art and to um, just be a little bit more involved. It's just, it's encouraging. Like whenever, because sometimes, I would try to get in these group art shows, and galleries. So whenever you get to do that, it's like, oh, it encourages you to continue to do more things.
Yeah.
And so even here lately, I've been, getting more into trying to get more into the Dallas Fort Worth area art scene or whatever, because I kind of took a kind of taking a, not back seat, but kind of scaling the paint parties down, because it is a lot of preparation. Because you have to, when you get ready to do one, you have to prepare all the canvases. You have to do this. You have to do that. It's just, and it takes a while to, prepare, and then you do the actual party.
Yeah.
And, setting up and all that stuff, do the party, and then clean up, and then you're done. So it does. And I just miss, creating art. But yeah, I've been trying to do more around the DFW, area. So yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. Because for a while I was doing a lot in Dallas. I know before COVID, there was an art gallery in downtown Dallas where they had a lot of art shows, group art shows, and I also participated in, just sitting at the gallery, for a day every so often. And then that kind of went to the wayside. But yeah, and then ever since then, that's when I started doing more of the paint parties. Then last year, I was honored to be in a gallery for about a month last year. So I'm getting back into things here. Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you.
Uh,
Well, you're a creative powerhouse, definitely. I mean, it's just
Thank
amazing
you.
that all that you are doing and working, and you are inspiring.
Thank you. And I want to thank my family, my husband, my family. They've always encouraged me to, keep keep creating, and I will always have support of, like when I do paint parties and stuff, I would have, sometimes family coming out. My sister, she would come out and help, and I would have other family members too. They would come out and help with the paint parties if they're really huge. But yeah.
That's awesome. So, where can people find out more about you online?
So they can go to, for the paint parties and paint kits, they can go to dhalllart.com. And then for my paintings, the website is denisehalllart.com. I'm on
Great.
Facebook, I'm on Instagram. So Denise Hall Fine Art on Facebook. And then on Instagram, I think it's Hall8853. Okay.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, thank you. You got me inspired again. So, thank you, Denise, for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. Me too. It was good hanging out with you. So, everybody, please like, subscribe, and share so that I can bring more episodes to you. Thanks for tuning in. That's a wrap. We'll see you next time.